Good morning. Good morning. It's been a while. Um, Nice to see you today. I have had quite a few health issues going on lately. Uh, since Christmas, my fourth cardiac catheterization showed that I have two 90%, one 50%, and another it's 100% blocked in my heart. I had two hospitalizations, one last weekend at St. Mary's Hospital here in Lewiston, and another one last weekend at Maine Medical Center in Portland. Um, I was very tired, getting dizzy upon standing up. Um, I couldn't walk very far. Um, 2 Fridays ago, I went to have my third echocardiogram at St. Mary's Hospital, and um, I passed out. I fainted uh, sitting up. Um, I was in the waiting room. I got up because my name was called. Um, got a little dizzy, bent over, stabilized myself. Went to the echo room, and the nurse said, I sat down. She asked me my name, and my eyes rolled back in my head. Um, that was new and different. I was unresponsive for several minutes. Um, the doctor on call just happened to be my cardiologist. And instead of bringing the emergency department to me, um, I went to the emergency department after my echocardiogram. I came to, and my uh, cardiologist was like, Mr. Barber, Reverend Barber. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I know you. And yeah, they said I went out of town for several minutes. I was sitting up. I wasn't rigid, but I was sitting up in the chair, and they kept, pushing me, and I wouldn't come to. So I stayed overnight at St. Mary's last weekend, and the doctor did not make clear to me that I was to stop my torsemide, my diuretic water pill, and to stop my blood pressure medicine. My blood pressure had dropped to 87/44, and my kidney function had dropped to 26%. So when I was discharged from St. Mary's Hospital here in Lewiston, I wasn't cognizant that I wasn't supposed to take those two medications. Uh, I have a bucket load here that I take every night. So, so last Friday, I went to the follow-up appointment in Portland with my primary care provider, and they didn't find anything wrong, but other than the fact that I was tired and my um, blood pressure was on the low side. My bottom number was in the 50s. Um, so I got up to go, and I couldn't walk 30 feet down the hall, and I got winded. And they said that they wanted me to go to Maine Medical Center. So uh, I got a ride down by a transportation company from Lewiston to Portland. And I got in the gentleman's vehicle and I said, well, changing destination. Instead of going home, I am being told I need to go to Maine Med. And he said, well, I can't do that. It's a liability issue as well as a billing issue. Made a couple phone calls. They agreed. Okay. What do? Call 911. So I called 911. I said, I'm not in crisis. No need for the bell and whistles, fire trucks and ambulance. No need to do that. So they did anyway. So hang on a sec. Jason. So so I'm outside on the corner of Congress and India Street in Portland. And I'm directing traffic. I had to bring the guy that transported me down from Lewiston to Portland to the parking lot. There was a Uber Eats guy behind him. I had to direct him out of the parking lot. I had to stop a Coca-Cola tractor trailer delivery truck so I could get the ambulance into the parking lot that I was. So it's like the Keystone Cops, of old. And they get out, get an older gear. They still think I'm inside my doctor's office when I'm standing right there. And they said, where's the patient? I said, it's me. We were told it's a cardiac issue. I said, no, I'm not in distress. I'm not in crisis. I told them I'm 6'5", 330 pounds. And I'm waving my walking stick in the air. Get your attention. Oh, it is you. Yeah. So it was just a comedy of errors. Long story short, I end up in the emergency room for 12 hours in the medical center in Portland. And I'm in contact with my university sweetheart. And she had complications this past January from a gastric bypass that she had 17 years ago. And Maine Med took her out of the emergency room and stuck her down a hallway for 3 days before they got a room upstairs. Well, 10 o'clock at night, Reverend Barber, yep, they stick me down all the way at the end of the overflow hallway in a bed. And made me comfortable. And I see doctors walking past me through these huge double doors, and nurses, and technicians, and housekeeping. And I'm thinking, how long am I going to be back here? Shelly's was there for 3 days. What's going on? So I asked. They checked and they said, your room is ready upstairs. It just has to be cleaned. So I was like, okay. So 12:30 at night, after being in the emergency room for since noon, um, they brought me upstairs. How you feeling? How you feeling? I'm feeling fine as long as I don't try and stand up or walk or anything. So I couldn't sleep. They didn't have all my meds, or weren't giving me all my meds. So I did get some rest. In the morning, um, a whole bunch of specialists, social worker, occupational therapy, cardiology, physical therapy, um, uh, diabetes, um, nurses drawing blood every 3 hours. So I finally get to see the attending doctor. And he did apologize for not showing up earlier. And I said, yeah, well, I feel fine just sitting here. So he said, you've had an interesting couple of months. Yes, I have. Neurological, cardiology, diabetes. Um, and he said, well, I had to pull a whole bunch of people together last night. And we're very concerned. Okay, what's going on? So they said your fourth catheterization at Central Maine Medical Center. This is the third hospital involved. Day after Christmas, came with came up with some serious blockages. I said, "Yeah, I know. I was awake for it." And I asked the surgeon about when it stopped and your blood pressure meds. I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Well, we've been withholding them for the last 36 hours. And what we'd like to do is keep you for 72 hours so they flush out of your system and see how you feel." Great. So they made me comfortable. Then they come and said, nurses saying, is there anybody at home that can bring you more of your insulin? Because we don't have the U200 Humalog insulin, which is double strength of the U100 that I have in my insulin. So, yeah, made a phone call. Very good friend of mine, a whole bag of stuff because I didn't know how long I was going to be there. And brought and my priest, who lives down Cape Elizabeth, next to South Portland, came to visit me for a few hours. That's always good. So physical therapy and occupational therapy, come and see me around noontime on Sunday this weekend. And let's go for a walk. Do you need a walker? I said, no, I got my walking stick. So I put my shoes on, I get up, I start going down the hall. You want to stop and get your breath yet? No, I'm fine. There's the station. So you want to keep going? Sure. Go all the way down the hall, around the corner, all the way back to my room, sit down, and they're like, you know, jockeying for position to see if I'm going to fall. No, I'm not. So get back in my room, sit down on bed. Well, you look like you're fine. I feel fine. So I get discharged a couple hours later. I've been home here since about 2:30 Sunday afternoon. Yesterday, Monday, I had to go back down towards Portland to Falmouth because I had an acupuncture um, appointment. 36 needles, 12 of them were electrified. Um, Neck, uh, back, sacrum, and in my feet. I feel fine. Today, I had to go to my diabetes specialist in Lewiston at St. Mary's Hospital. And good numbers there. I'm going to be put on Wegovy so I could keep those 12 pounds that I lost inadvertently, not trying, off. Maybe a couple more. And tomorrow, I have my follow up with my cardiologist in regards to this past weekend. So I'm here. God is good. God is really good. He's great. Um, I'm alive. God's not done with me yet on my mission here. So that's where I've been for the last 3 weeks. And I apologize for not letting you guys know um, ahead of time. My energy level was just right out the window. Uh, take my time going from a lying down to sitting up to standing and just couldn't walk very far. But my echocardiogram came back 69%, which is pretty darn good compared to what I've been through. So, yeah, at least I'm getting some answers. I was pulling together my medical team since late October as I was getting concerned in regards to my lessening dramatically endurance and ability to do things, you know, sit down to cook, sit down to do dishes. Um, I couldn't sweep, mop, uh, vacuum my apartment. Uh, I had to become more and more dependent upon my roommate and his wife, whom you've met. So, yeah, and I cut my hair short. So, like I tell everybody, and a Travis Tritt song from the 90s, 10 feet tall and bulletproof, which I am, which I am. Um, I'm very grateful to have the medical team I have, to have such a loving family that I do. Um, and I'm grateful to be here. So, also, um, many of you may have noticed that um, I have a new Facebook page. It's chs dot rev dot krb2 on Facebook. Um, I was a little overzealous in my comments and reposting memes from Threads and Instagram to my Facebook page. Um, just prior to and during the inauguration, uh, a lot of you understand my political views. It's not a radical um, left wing socialist. Um, it's a human point of view. Um, I'm disabled myself. Uh, I'm now officially retired. Um, and when Elon Musk in the arena grabbed his left side of his chest and gave what has been called a Roman salute. Um, Adolf Hitler actually adopted that salute for his National uh, Socialist Party in 1933, Nazi Party. Uh, I've been a studier of history all my life, ever since I was a kid. My dad was a World War II veteran, flying a B-24 Liberator bomber, heavy bomber, 23 missions for European campaign battle stars, 2 air medals with Oakley clusters for bravery in combat, and a Presidential Unit citation for Operation Overlord, D-Day. And then to have someone who I'm not very fond of, he presents himself as being uh, with Asperger's syndrome, a form of high-functioning autism. As most of you know, I taught K through 12 to age 20, multiple disability, special ed, life skills, and I was an autism expert, certified by the uh, Department of Education for the state of Maine. And both of my sons, now ages going to be 33 and they're 30, are in a sperming group home in Portland. Um, they weren't adopted when I went to prison. Their mother passed away in 03. I went to prison in 06. So they both have severe to profound autism. And I took what Elon Musk did as a slap in the face. And I didn't threaten, I didn't make any terrorist or off color remarks. I made my being offended clear. Um, I chose my words carefully. And within a matter of hours, as and I'm not going to evoke Beetlejuice's name, our 47th president with a small p, he doesn't deserve a capital P, was signing his executive orders. And the tech moguls during the inauguration under the rotunda because it was too cold outside. um, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Meta, Tim Cook, Apple, Sergey from Google, and Elon Musk from X, formerly known as Twitter, and now SpaceX. They were in the front row. Inauguration seating is just like seating at a wedding. The most important people are to the front. And these billionaires were right behind them. And I was very upset. I didn't watch it live on TV, but I was keeping apprised of it through my newsfeed and uh, Instagram. And within a matter of hours, my and millions of other Facebook users' accounts were suspended and then summarily deleted, um, depending upon what was evident in our posts and our political stance. So, in the chat bottom here, I have a link to my new page on top of Kairos, the main, my friend Henry Lyons, beingfreebooks.com, and Rose's Room, the support group I go to for loved ones that have um, their loved ones either have incarcerated. So my new Facebook page is at the bottom. I was able to reestablish uh, accounts with Threads, Kairos Messenger, and um, Instagram. All those accounts that I've had for the last 3 years, just actually 2.5 years, just got wiped out. My friends list, all my contacts, everything was just deleted. And I never realized how fragile or how dependent that we become upon technology and social media as a communication venue. I've always been grateful for it. But now George Orwell was right. Big Brother is watching from his novel 1984. The thing is, it's not so novel anymore. This is the reality we're in. And it scares me. I'm scared of what's going on today. And I've done 16 years of hard time in prison. And now I'm scared and fearful for us as a society, as a country, as a democracy that is turning into a fascist autocracy. It's no longer the needs of the many, to quote Star Trek. Needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. It's just the opposite. The needs of the one outweigh the needs of the few or the many. That's food for thought. So let us thank God that we're still here today, that our hearts are still beating, that the world keeps turning, regardless of these literal earth-shattering events over the last 8 days. 8 days. There has been such drastic changes. Negate almost 250 years of our history. And if we look back at Nazi Germany, if we look back at the Soviet Union, the Bolshevik Revolution, the purges of Joseph Stalin, uh, Chairman Mao of China, um, Pol Pot, Cambodia, Ho Chi Minh of Vietnam, uh, Kim Jong Il owned that family, North Korea, um, Saddam Hussein, Iraq, uh, uh, Ayatollah Khomeini from Iran, um, ISIS, the Taliban. These are toxic, evil people who want to, lack of a better word, rule over people within their borders and actually go beyond their borders. War's not. Vladimir Putin, if you ever read his biography, how he had risen in KGB to regional commander of Berlin in East Germany, and he had to retreat, evacuate, and run when the Berlin Wall came down in 1989. And yet, in that window of time, just a matter of 10 years until the year 2000, Russia was truly free. Soviet Union fell apart. It was actually a democracy. But Putin rose to power and took over the Politburo in the year 2000, and he's been a tyrant ever since. And he felt deeply wounded in regards to Ukraine. Um, we all know about that. The renegade upheavals in Africa, Central and South America, Southeast Asia, uh, billions upon billions upon billions of people's lives were forever changed because of these evil, toxic people that were just concerned about themselves, no other. Not for the people that live in their country, not for their own families, not for anybody else but themselves. Uh, I reposted a lot of YouTube videos. It's on my playlist. And here on my YouTube. And the books of Daniel, Ezekiel, and Revelation are all coming true. There's an awful lot in those three books of the Bible. The Antichrist is among us. If it isn't our 47th president with a small p, it is his youngest son, because his youngest son reminds me of Damien from the movie in the 70s or early 80s, I think it was the 70s, The Omen, who was the Antichrist reborn. You go back into ancient Hebrew texts, and you can geographically place where the Antichrist is supposedly born, comes from uh, in modern times. Eastern Europe, all of our current president number 47's children, their mothers were of Eastern European blood, Slovenia. That comes into prophecy. Padre Pio was murdered in 2000 or 2002, and his prophecies have been unsealed. A striking resemblance on what's been going on just in the last week. The three children of lords who Mary, Mother of Jesus, came and prophesied to them when they were children. The last message has been unsealed by Pope John Paul II in 2000, and it was kept secret until recently. It says the same thing that Padre Pio's visions and his stigmata, the signs of where Christ's blood on the cross.